Moses Avalon, and this is a potentially new reader, and this is how this works. First they see the book. The title is compelling, so they pick it up. They open it up. They see the font. And their first impression is what?
Nice font.
Nice font. Thank you, whoever did that at Hal Leonard. Second impression.
There's probably something interesting in here.
There's probably something interesting in here. And this is why I guess people have been buying this book for what, 12 years, and why it's required reading in about, I don't know, 50 music business schools.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like your typical textbook, and while maybe out of this entire book, this much of it you can probably find in 50 other books, those books are not going to be as much fun as this book. And then there's this part here, the rest of it, that you won't find anywhere but here. For example, this is the only book I know of that does an actual analysis of the difference between the way ASCAP and BMI work. Where is that chapter? I don't know any other book that actually does that. You have a chapter called Sneaky Lawyer Stuff. I mean, that's going to be fun, you know? So that's this book. This one here is like your owner's manual for your recording contract. Now you may say, well, I don't have a recording contract. Why would I need this book? Well, that's because almost everything in the music business revolves around contracts that are very much like major label contracts or independent label contracts. And you have to really know what these clauses mean. So what this book does, it actually takes the contract verbatim with complex phrases like notwithstanding anything to the contrary without eliminating the generality of the foregoing, and it translates them into regular, what I like to call musician's English, which is, something we can all understand. Plus write up with tips on what you should and should not negotiate, and what I call loophole detectors and double dip detectors. So this really is almost an education in music business law, but it's designed for the musician. And then this one, this is my latest. This one takes you on an entire journey of your career. See, some people say these books are great, but Moses, I'm just starting out. A lot of this stuff's over my head. So this book here, this book has 5 parts, and part 1's called I Just Joined a Band. So here you're going to find answers to questions that are beginner, just starting out. And part 2 is I just made my first lousy little deal. This is for people who've now arrived, who are actually starting to make a little bit of money off their music, and the questions and answers you're going to have about that. And then part 3 is I'm about to sign my first real deal, because everyone's first deal is kind of and then their second deal they learn everything, and then now the questions about that. And then of course part 4 is I want out of this deal, which is where everybody eventually ends up in their career once they learn exactly what kind of deal they should have made in the first place, which hopefully if they read the first 2 parts they won't be at that point. And then the questions and answers about that. And then part 5 is how things in the industry may or may not change. And this book's called 100 Answers to 50 Questions on the Music Business. Why 100 Answers to 50 Questions? Well, because the answer that you might get about, for example, who is a songwriter might be a different answer if you're a beginner versus if you're more experienced. A lot of times there isn't any single answer to a question. A lot of it depends on where you are in your career. So this book actually tries to be a companion to you for your entire career, and that would be my hope. And I think you'll enjoy them. They're always fun to read. I always try to keep it interesting because business can be kind of boring, and let's face it, we're in entertainment. We got into this business to have fun, to have a good time. Why shouldn't our texts also be fun and interesting? And that's my mission, to make it interesting and fun for you to learn about this business so that you don't get ripped off.